Kick the back toe. When you're ready to duplicate your best goal. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble, tires grip slick, mud tattoos, the side panels raw, wheel to wheel, no room for a flaw. Throttle pin, hearts pound like bass, slide through the corner, a deadly embrace, chasing that checkered, sweat stain dream, the track screams out of that midnight scheme. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day. Lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day. Lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Take a red light dancing, the tack don't lie, spitting gravel, carving the sky, hustle the corners, whip it wide, late model demons, drift and glide, chrome on chrome, a battlefield clash, sparks kiss the ground in a fiery flash, no surrender, no breaks to be found, victory's hymn in that deafening sound. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day, lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day, lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Kings of the clay, kings of the clay, kings of the clay. Wheel to wheel, 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 kings of the Kick the back toe. When you're ready to duplicate your best goal. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble, tires grip slick, mud tattoos, the side panels raw, wheel to wheel, no room for a flaw. Throttle pin, hearts pound like bass, slide through the corner, a deadly embrace, chasing that checkered, sweat stain dream, the track screams out of that midnight
gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from Sonoma Raceway for another night of amazing racing action here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League, as each and every one of these drivers going to be looked to parking themselves into victory lane here this evening. But this is going to be a race that's going to require you to battle through some twists and turns out there on the racetrack, as we are not on an oval here. We are not in Kansas. This is Sonoma, California, and it is a beautiful road course. And you can see these drivers not only having to turn left, but they also got to turn right here this evening. And that right-hand turn could definitely cause a lot of issues for these drivers out on the speedway. If you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, though, help us out here. Help the stream grow. Drop a like on the stream right now. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Make sure you drop a comment or two. Let us know who you're cheering for and who you want to see up in victory lane here today, as each and every one of these drivers getting their qualifying runs in. As of right now, it's Matthew Wood who's got the quick time out there on the speedway. I have a sneaky suspicion we're going to see Matthew Wood, Jordan Fisher, and a few of these other drivers putting together some really, really good races here this afternoon. Other drivers are going to be, unfortunately, a little bit worse at this. Road course racing always comes with its hits and misses out there on the speedway. There's a lot of drivers that really like them, that have the knack for them, that prefer and love to go to these road courses, and they have a good time and they have a lot of fun here at the racetrack. And unfortunately, there's a lot of other drivers that just do not have the runs that they're hoping for, and that do not have that kind of extra gear, that left turn and right turn, accolade to their name. And for a lot of these guys, it unfortunately caused a lot of issues. We do see Trent Johns able to complete his second lap out there on the racetrack. He'll only gain one extra position as he qualifies in the 20th spot on the speedway. As of right now, when you look at, Trent Johns, who just qualified there in 20th, ran a 16:53. So a 1 minute, 16 second, and 53 millisecond lap time. So a 1:16:53. Our race leaders, Matthew Wood, ran a 1:12:95, virtually 4 seconds quicker than our 20th place driver out there on the racetrack. It's really, it's kind of tight. Matthew Wood and Jordan Fisher were 1/100th of a second off each other in their qualifying times out there on the racetrack. And then it's a few tenths back to Grant Applegate, a few tenths back there to Evan Stewart and Aiden Lucas for our top 5, and then it's about a second back to Xavier Rugglebrugge, and then it just continues to keep on falling farther and farther and farther here. I think we're going to see some great racing, some great battles for probably that 4th to 9th, 10th position out there on the racetrack. I think we're going to have a lot of drivers that are going to be kind of right on that level. I think we're going to see probably 2 to maybe 3 or 4 cars that may be, at a super extensive level of being really good here at these road courses, and those will probably be, the drivers that have qualified up here towards the front. When you look at Matthew Wood and Jordan Fisher, Applegate could be a surprise here this afternoon. Evan Stewart, maybe even Aiden Lucas could be a bit of a surprise here this afternoon. For a lot of these other drivers, they're just going to be doing their best. Maybe they find something, maybe they gain that extra little bit of speed, maybe they, wind up running a little closer to the front of the field than what we, can imagine here this afternoon, and what they may even think they can do here this evening as well. So we'll have to wait and see, who's going to be able to find that magic, who's going to be able to find that groove, and, put themselves up and into a winning position, as we will see these drivers compete for 77 laps here this afternoon. And that is a good chunk of change. There's a lot of laps. There's a lot of things that can work in your favor with other drivers having issues, but it's also a lot of time that you can run into an issue. You lose focus, you miss a corner, you run into a problem, you can put yourself, down behind pit wall and out of this race in a heartbeat. So you got to be focused all evening long, always thinking not only just one corner ahead, but multiple corners ahead, ahead, especially when it comes to trying to, line someone up for a big pass out there on the racetrack to try to make your move around some of these drivers, especially as things kind of get a little bit more spread out, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go to battle here from Sonoma, as Matthew Wood will be our pole sitter. He will start out in front of the field. Jordan Fisher will start there to his outside in that Fish Speed Brakes number 39 machine. Applegate will start in third with Evan Stewart in position number 4 on the speedway, as another Fish Speed Brakes ride, as the Fish Speed rides currently sit second, third, and fourth here on the starting grid. Then we see that Highway Patrol number 34 of Aiden Lucas starting there in 5th, to his outside in the Tide Gain Pepsi number 5 ride. It's Xavier Rogobruggy who will start in that 6th position. Jack Bulty will start in position number 7 for the 67 ride. To his outside will be the 05 of Michael Boyles, if he can load in here in time, as he's not yet loaded into the sim. Landon Burbage in the Prince's Towing number 2 will start there in the 9th position. To his outside in the Fish Speed number 45, it is Colby Wells rounding out our top 10. The Black Honey Barbershop number 23 of Austin Thompson will start in 11th, with Michael Durham Jr. in the still number 00 to his outside there in 12th. And then we see the Rush Hour 31 of Joseph Smith, the 24 ride of Terrence Murphy there in 14th. And then we see Lucian Thompson here this afternoon, starting there in 15th. Ryan Haller back in 16th. Wyatt Mickelson in the 17th position, with Trent Johns, Nick Biddy, Jacob Lee in the 21 ride there in the 20th spot. Then we see Chess Hamby, Jason Bogart, Austin Guerrero, Stephen Blevins, Keegan Huey, Virgil Perriman, Darren Engler, Jace LaFour back in 28th. Michael Boyles, who was supposed to start in the 9th position, did not get it on the racetrack in time, so he will have to start pit side here this afternoon, and currently scored back in the 29th position here on the starting grid. So for all these drivers, 29 cats getting ready to see that green flag fly here this evening, and then from that point on, man, it's going to be a lot of green flag laps. We will have 2 stages here this afternoon. I believe stages are going to be at lap number 20 in lap number 40. Now, we will only see 1 stage break, 1 caution flag throughout this race, and that will be at the completion of our 2nd stage. At the completion of lap number 40, the yellow flag will come out. That'll be the only yellow we will see for a full course caution here this afternoon. Everything else will be localized yellow flags for all these drivers. That means if you run into an issue, you run into a problem, you just got to get yourself back in on the racetrack as quick as possible, spin yourself back around, try not to give up as much time as you can, and hope that you can still get a good solid run on the day, and obviously try to keep yourself on the lead lap up and until that caution flag on lap 40 to kind of reel back into the rear of the field, trying to gain some more spots after that yellow and get into the battle again out on the speedway, as things are about to get crazy here this evening, as each and every one of these drivers are ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here this evening for 77 laps of racing action here from the beautiful Sonoma Raceway, as the official iRacing pace truck going to make that hard left-hand turn and head down pit lane as they head down into the final couple corners, down into this hairpin turn. And nice and easy for Matthew Wood. He'll head into our restart zone, our fire zone here for the race leader, and it's up to his prerogative when he wants to hammer down and try to get a launch, try to get a jump here, as things are about to get real crazy real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your popcorn as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, as you see our pole sitter Matthew Wood run into a little bit of tire spin right there. Had a little tire spin, had the 57 of Applegate all over his back bumper. Unfortunately, that's going to cost both of them at least a position or 2, as you see Applegate up and off of corner number 2 right there, and he's going to fall back even farther. So for the Fish Speed number 57 ride, down through 3 and 4, as things kind of cycle back around, he'll jump in front of Terrence Murphy and be scored back in that 9th position. Matthew Wood falls all the way back into position number 4, as you see Evan Stewart and Xavier Rogobruggy both able to get around that 16 ride. Just not a great start there for the 16 machine, and unfortunately unfortunately, falling back 4 spots right at the get-go. And for Jordan Fisher, he'll say thank you very much for that one as he quickly jumps out in front and now heads down through these S's. Nice and easy. Back down in towards that hairpin, looking for a big run. And a great opening lap here is now, hang on, there goes Matthew Wood for a slide. Oh, Matthew pushing it hard here. Luckily enough, no major contact or anything else, but another mistake. And unfortunately for the 16 ride, looks like that slide will send him all the way back into the 11th position as we see a few drivers having to serve penalties from last week as Terrence Murphy and Landon Burbage both down pit road serving penalties here. Same with Virgil Perriman and the Folgers number 18 ride, the 83 ride of Darren Engler also down pit road. And unfortunately for Lucian Thompson, heavy damage here for the 61 machine. Let's take a look back and see what happens to Lucian as Lucian, unfortunately, already has quite a bit of damage here. I'm not sure if this is where it got started. It looks like maybe that's where it does as he's a little deeper in the field. Sends it into the corner, gets loose there over the berms, and unfortunately hard contact into that, I believe, corner number 11. Safer barrier there. The tire barrier's heavy hit there for me. See the heavy smoke rolling out of that 61 ride. He's down pit road trying to get that thing fixed up and back out onto the speedway. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to, as he may be done and out of this race only after, 90% of a lap out there on the racetrack. As Anna, what's good, Anna? Anna says hello, everyone, as and says, go Jordan, fish speed. And Mrs. Holler in the chat says, hi guys, so happy to be with Peacemaker tonight. We're so happy to have you in here, Mrs. Holler. As Michael Ponder says, unfortunately, due to injury, Michael, the Dr. Ponder Jr., will not be racing tonight. I wish my teammates at MTL Motorsports the best of luck. I know they have practiced very hard for this race. Well, Michael, we'll be looking forward to seeing the MTL guys out there on the racetrack. And now you're going to have to break it down for us, man. What does the MTL stand for? Is that an abbreviation for something? Is that the Montreal Canadiens hockey team abbreviation? I'm pretty sure they go by MTL as well, but I could be wrong on that one. But, that's always where I'm thinking of. I'm always thinking of Montreal. I'm always thinking of Montreal when you say MTL Motorsports. That's always what I'm thinking of, the Montreal Motorsports. Xana says, let's go, Landon. Cheering on Mr. Burbage here this evening as, man, this is going to be a lot of fun. As Ms. Holler says, hey, my friend, welcome back to Wyatt Mickelson. Welcome back to Mr. Wyatt. As Wyatt out there on the racetrack, he's up into the 11th position as Matthew Wood battling back here. We saw him run into a couple issues there on that opening lap, fell back into about 11th here, but now here he is right back up into that 8th position, but out in front, Jordan Fisher trying to run away here with this one. Jordan out in front. We knew he was going to be a beast here at the road courses, and it's looking that early on he's going to be the car to beat as Matthew Wood running into mistakes here. He's going to have to make up a lot of track position, a lot of time here as he sits 12 seconds back behind Jordan Fisher now on the racetrack. And last time around, Jordan laid down the quickest lap of this race, and he has a 6-second lead between himself and Xavier Rungle-Brugge. Xavier sits in second, though. He's got the 34 of Aiden Lucas right there with him, and that 37 of Mr. Evan Stewart. They're in fourth. Kobe Wells up 5 spots early in this race as the Fish Speed TAC 3 number 45 ride sits in that 5th position. His teammate Grant Applegate, who we saw run into problems early in this race, back in position number 6. Jack Bulte there in 7th. Matthew Wood there in 8th. Joseph Smith into the 9th position, and Logan Perriman into that 10th spot out there on the speedway. As we see, the 31 gets into the sand pit right there. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it. Doesn't make any contact with that outside fence, but it opens up the door for this 99 of Logan Perriman to steal that 9th position away from him. Smith slides back to 10th. Now here comes Wyatt Mickelson working right to their back bumper. Austin Thompson not too far away to jump into that fun as well here, trying to battle for a top 10 run out there on the racetrack. Trent Johns back in the 13th position, has that 0-0 of Michael Durham Jr., the 60 of Ryan Holler there with him, and that number 32 of Nick Biddy, as Biddy gives Holler a little bit of a shot in the back bumper. Is that Dasani Ford Mustang trying to keep himself here inside the top 15, sitting there in that 15th position right now on the speedway. Michael Boyle's back in position number number 17. Now, unfortunately for Michael, had to start down pit side. He had qualified inside the top 10. Unfortunately, missed the start of this race. And now finds himself back in 17th and just trying to claw his way back into the action as Jacob Smith, Landon Burbage, as you see the 10 ride. Turned around right there, unfortunately for Jess Hamby, going for a little bit of a slide down and up at the top of the hill in corner number 4. And as he goes around, he ends up losing probably about 4 or 5 spots out there on the racetrack. We saw Jacob Lee, Terrence Murphy, Jace LaForte get around him. Stephen Blevins in the 22nd position got around him. Same with Austin Guerrero and Jason Bogart, able to take advantage. So for Jess Hamby, that one spin, that one slip up there in corner number 4 cost him about 5-6 positions out there on the racetrack. That was a huge slip up there for that 10 ride, but he's looking to try to get it back now as he's scored back in that 25th position. We do see Virgil Perriman back in 26. Keegan Huey there in the State Trooper number 38 ride in 27th, and Darren Engler in position number 28. Now for Darren, he is, I believe, now the first driver 1 lap down. Keegan Huey still on the lead lap, but does not have a lot of playing ground here because our race leader not too far away from the try to put him a lap down as there is Jordan Fisher reeling into his back bumper in a quick hurry as Jordan Fisher is absolutely gone here, has blown away from the rest of the field, has 10 seconds now between himself and Aiden Lucas. So Fisher is just absolutely running away with this one, man. He's running away with it and trying to keep all these drivers in his rear view mirror and hoping for a big day here at the Speedways. He knows with only that one caution flag, if he can build a big enough lead, if he can try to run away from Matthew Wood and Applegate, Aiden Lucas and Xavier Rocco-Broggi and the rest of these fast cats up here at the front of the field, if he can continue to try to build up this big lead and pull far enough away, man, he could be on cruise control here to not only a stage 1 win, but maybe even a stage 2 win before they're back onto his rear bumper and putting the pressure back to him here for the race win in that final stage of the day, as there will only be one yellow flag at the completion of lap number 40, the end of our second stage of this race. So for the number 39 rider, Jordan Fisher, looking to take advantage of this early racetrack position, trying to put more and more drivers a lap down, trying to trap them back there, and putting himself into a golden spot out there on the speedway late in this race. As Fisher, nice and easy down through the final couple corners, trying to reel in the 18 ride of Mr. Virgil Perriman, trying to put Virgil a lap down out there on the racetrack. As, man, 39 rider Jordan Fisher, man, he is hooked up. He's continuing to lay down just some absolutely blazing fast lap times out there on the speedway. Better than everybody last time around by 1 whole second. Actually, even more than a second quicker than the next fastest driver out there on the racetrack, which last time around was the number 34 of Aiden Lucas. As we see Virgil Perriman now go for a slide there through corner number 4 as well. But for Jordan Fisher, man, running a second and a bit quicker. It was 1.3 seconds faster than our second place driver last time out there on the racetrack. But now we do see Grant Applegate laying down some good lap times as well. Applegate trying to reel in Matthew Wood. Matthew ran a pretty decent lap time as well. Unfortunately, they're still about a second slower than our race leader, Jordan Fisher, out there on the racetrack. So, I mean, just this clean air, this fast number 39 ride, and Fisher did not come here to mess around this afternoon. He is a man focused and determined to try to lead all these laps and pull himself up into victory lane here this evening, as nice and easy down and out of the final corner here at Sonoma Raceway, clicking off lap number 8 here in our first stage of the day. Jordan Fisher has opened up a 12-second lead between himself and Aiden Lucas. Lucas down across the line will finally complete lap number 8 here himself. You take a look at Jordan Fisher already heading down into corner number 3, and that just shows you the gap that he has between first and second out on the racetrack. Xavier Ruggle-Bruggy right there in third, and Matthew Wood trying to track them both down. So isn't Grant Applegate, as they're both trying to work their way back to the front of the field after a couple early race issues. They're both battling their way back inside the top 5 and now trying to race their way to the front of the field. As Applegate able to work his way around that lap traffic, as the 38 running into more issues there for Keegan Huey. Now Evan Stewart back in that 6th position, as the lap traffic just going to try to stay out of the way way here for most of the lead lap drivers here. Obviously, it's going to get tough in certain corners out there on the racetrack, not being able to open up that door and give them a certain lane out there on the racetrack. But for the Fish Speed Brakes, number 34, Ryan of Evan Stewart trying to hold on the 6th here. Jack Buelty right there with them in 7th. Kobe Wells has fallen back now into the 8th position. He's got Joseph Smith back behind him in 9th, and Logan Perriman rounding out the top 10. Wyatt Mickelson still there in 11th in that Tracker Boat. Number 51, Ryan, the Bass Pro Shop Machine there in 11th with Austin Thompson, Trent Johns in that beautiful C4 Energy. Number 8, Ryan, there in 13th. Michael Durham Jr., the 0-0, back in 14th, and it's Nick Biddy who now rounds out our top 15 as Ryan Holler has slid back into that 16th position as Mrs. Holler says, come on, Ryan Holler, take it easy with that car. Lots of laps, not easy track. Definitely not an easy track. Definitely not an easy track. Definitely very easy to put yourself into a bad position, into a tough position, but at the same point in time, you want to run quick enough that not only are you gaining spots on the racetrack, or at least keeping pace with a lot of the drivers in front of you, but you want to make sure that you're not running slow enough that after 40 laps of racing action, Jordan Fisher will have an opportunity to put you a lap down out there on the racetrack. And for right now, the speed and the pace that Fisher's laying down here, now with a 15-second lead between himself and Aiden Lucas, my gosh, Jordan Fisher, he may put a lot of these drivers a lap down before the end of stage number 2 this afternoon. And when we look back through the field, and we were just looking at, Trent Johns and Michael Durham Jr., you look at Nick Biddy and Michael Boyles, Ryan Holler, all here in this group back, battling for about the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th position on the racetrack. They find themselves right now about 47 seconds behind our race leader out there on the racetrack. And 45 seconds is a massive amount of time. That is a huge amount of time out there on the speedway. And very, very soon we could potentially see our race leader reeling into these guys and potentially putting them a lap down out on the speedway. As we'll take a look out here and see some more drivers that have ran into some issues, as I believe we're going to see a lot of drivers here tonight run into problems. Looks like Stephen Blevins here. He's going to have some issues. Let's take a look at Blevins and see what happens here to this Baldur Motors and Drives number 51 ride. As send it in here, looking for a big run, hoping for a good drive as they head down into one of the passing corners here on the racetrack, and he gets in there, gets into the 17 of Jason Bogart. They get tied together. Unfortunately, Bogart does go around the 51, takes that spot from him. Unfortunately, that little contact there ran both those drivers into some issues. Now we saw Michael Boyles run into some problems here as well. Let's take a look at the 51, that John 316 ride, as he's trying to carry a lot of speed, a lot of momentum through here, and I think he just gets back onto the throttle too soon, gets a little tire hop there, goes around, goes for a quick little loop-de-loop. Now you see everyone else trying to get by him here, not wanting to run over him or run through him there on the racetrack. Austin Guerrero off the speedway just to avoid him. Terrence Murphy then going to run into some issues here with the 24 ride. Let's take a look here and see what happens. This beautiful number 24 machine as he sends it into the corner, maybe gets in there a little too far, a little too hard. You see Austin Guerrero already turned around. The 24 hard contact into the back bumper of Jace Lafort. Lafort ends up into the outside fence there on corner exit as well. Solid damage for both of those drivers. And man, there's issues all over the racetrack, man. These drivers are just trying to hang on, trying to keep their cars pointing in the right direction and hoping that they can keep these things, on the racetrack. And it's a lot easier said than done, as right now our 13th place driver Michael Durham Jr. finds himself about 50 seconds back of our race leader. Let's see if we can get the track map up here and go with let's go with position. No, let's go with car number. Okay, so car number, if you look on the track map right here, our race leader, I do believe, is going to be all the way down here on the very top right-hand corner. You'll see the 39 ride, and we're running on board with the 13th place driver. He's virtually on the opposite end of the racetrack there right now, so a little bit under half a lap potentially back here of our race leader already, and for our race leader going to be catching up to him in a quick hurry here. Let's see if we can go with the actual position numbers. Maybe that'll be a little bit easier for you guys to kind of see kind of where these drivers are. Let's jump to our race leader, Jordan Fisher. So there's Fisher out there on the racetrack, and for right now, man, he is running really good lap time still some of the fastest laps out there on the racetrack compared to anybody else by almost a second or better here, almost towards 2 seconds quicker than a lot of the drivers inside our top 5, top 10 out there on the racetrack. And there's some of the other drivers deeper in the field, man, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds faster, and that's going to put them into a very difficult position in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack. As you see, the highlighted is black number 1 with the big green ring around it. That is our race leader. You can look back through there and see how far back our second place driver is to the number 1 ride out there on the racetrack, and just see how much time he really has here with that 20-second lead between himself and Matthew Wood. But you look back at 13th, 14th, a lot of these drivers, man, are not too far away from potentially going a lap down out there on the racetrack, and it's going to be fun to see how that plays out all night long. We'll keep that up there for you guys, as I think that's a really handy tool, having that track map and being able to see kind of where these drivers are out on the speedway. We'll just have to look for that corresponding number for their position, and we'll try to, well, hopefully that position board will keep you guys updated on where your favorite drivers are out there on the speedway. But for Jordan Fisher, fans in the stands, you know where your driver is. He's out in front. He's got a 20-second lead, and he is looking to continue to pull farther and farther away. But we finally do see Matthew Wood up and into position number 2 here, so he's battled his way back up into second, and now he's looking to try to just lay down some really good lap times here. Our pole sitter hoping to see if he can try to reel in Jordan Fisher and try to battle here for that race lead and for some stage points here this afternoon. Aiden Luke is there in third. Xavier Rugglebrunke back into position number 4, with Grant Applegate now into that 5th spot on the speedway. Evan Stewart right there in 6th, and then a bit of a gap back to the 67 of Jack Buelty, the 45 of Colby Wells. Then we see Joseph Smith in the 31. Wyatt Mickelson, our top 10. You see him just heading down through this pinhair turn. And unfortunately for the 51 ride, he's 11 seconds back of our 9th place driver out there on the racetrack. And then we see Austin Thompson, Logan Perriman, the 0-0 of Michael Durham Jr., Nick Biddy, Ryan Haller there in that 15th position. Michael Boyle's back behind him in the 0-5 in 16th. Landon Burbage, we saw have to make that earlier pit stop and serve a penalty here early on the day, that pass-through penalty for that 2 ride up and into the 17th position. So battling back here fairly nicely, but still scored back in 17th, and still very much in line and at risk of going a lap down here in a quick hurry. Same with Trent Johns, Terrence Murphy, and Jason Bogarts back there in that 20th position, as I believe Jason Bogarts is a lap down out on the racetrack, and now so isn't the 24 of Terrence Murphy, as our race leader, Jordan Fisher, already quite a bit in front of him here. And for Fisher, that is our top 18, a lap down out on the speedway, or top 19, bottom 19, unfortunately, a lap down out there on the racetrack. There's only 18 drivers left on the lead lap right now, and he's closing into Trent Johns in a quick hurry. And a whole lot of those drivers from that, basically 10th position to 18th are all running fairly close together. They're not too far apart. And for Jordan Fisher, he is reeling into them in a quick hurry, as Austin Thompson running into some issues here himself. You see the 8 ride of Trent Johns right there with them, and our race leader is right on their back bumper. That is Jordan Fisher right there behind him. So Fisher looking to maybe put our 18th and 17th place drivers a lap down out on the racetrack as well. And this is crazy. Okay, so there's Thompson. Unfortunately, looks like he does have some issues. And for Austin Thompson, you see that front end damage. He pulls over. He allows our race leader to go by. He does fall a lap down out there on the racetrack. So it only took 15 laps for Our race leader, Jordan Fisher, to put, our 18th place driver a lap down, and looking to put our 17th place driver a lap down here on lap 15 as well. But man, what a performance for him, and he stretched that race lead out, even making passes, putting more drivers a lap down. Matthew Wood has been in position number 2 here for a few laps, and he has not gained anything on Jordan Fisher. He's actually leaked more time to the 39 ride, and Jordan Fisher continues to pull farther and farther away from Matthew Wood out there on the racetrack, man. And this is just putting together just an incredible run, an incredible ride out there on the speedway. Or that Fish Speed Brakes number 39 ride is, man, he's looking to put everyone a lap down if he can. Have that 21-second lead here on Matthew Wood. I mean, Matthew runs into some mistakes out there. Same with Aiden Lucas, Xavier Rogel-Brugge. A lot of these drivers that are, 20-plus seconds back behind him, battling in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth place on the speedway. I mean, you run into one issue, you lose 30 seconds, you're right there, potentially at risk of going a lap down out there on the racetrack as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on it as we do see Applegate. He's going to lose his spot here to Evan Stewart. Unfortunately for the 57 machine, he'll fall back into 6th. Evan Stewart will work his way back up inside the top 5. So it looks like Evan may be a little bit stronger here on the longer run, and it seems like Applegate may be falling off a little bit here on the long run as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but we are rolling in towards our first stage break of the day as Fish Mom in the chat says, keep it up, Jordan. Keep it up. Jordan is right, man. Fisher is... Man, he is just doing an incredible job here this evening. If you guys are enjoying the racing action, man, if you guys are enjoying the battles here this evening and the, road course action here with the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League, and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. It's absolutely free to do. Helps us out a ton. Hit the like button on the stream for us. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button. And make sure you turn the bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. As Jordan Fisher out in front, almost 22 seconds now between him and Matthew Wood. So Matthew is headed down through our final couple corners. We'll take a look and see where he is here across the start-finish line as he heads into the final corner here at Sonoma, down across the start-finish line. Jordan Fisher is already past corner number 4, heading into corner number 5. That is how big of a lead he has, man. That is absolutely incredible how much of a gap he already has between himself and just our second place driver, and how quickly he's putting more and more of these cats a lap down out there on the speedway as Jordan has now lapped the 8 ride of Trent Johns. He's reeled to the back bumper here. Michael Boyle's looking to put our 16th place driver in that Impact number 05 ride a lap down here as well in this first stage of the day. And here he is. Big run, gets to the inside. We'll take that drive. We'll power down into this tight hairpin turn, and he will steal position number... Oh, he won't steal it, but he'll put our 16th place driver a lap down out there on the racetrack. And unfortunately, for the John 316, number 05 run of Michael Boyles, he's had some issues. He does have a little bit of left front damage there on that 05 ride, as well as missing the start of this race and having to start from pit road virtually at the back of the pack here. Has been a fight ever since then, just trying to battle his way back up towards this point. Unfortunately, losing all that extra time definitely help attested to him going a lap down out there on the racetrack. Next up is this 60 ride of Ryan Haller. Haller is next to be potentially lapped down, in the 2 of Landon Burbage right there as well, potentially about to lose a lap out there on the speedway as Landon and Haller, they see our race leader on their back bumper. Looks like Haller's going to move out of the way there. And he allows that Fish Speed Brakes number 39 of Jordan Fisher to put him a lap down out there on the racetrack. And for the Dasani Refresh number 60 machine, still sits in that 15th position. This finds himself 1 lap down here. Now we do see Grant Applegate down pit road here. So Applegate making a much earlier pit stop. This is a bit of a surprise to me. Obviously making this earlier pit stop before the end of stage number 1. That will probably take him maybe out of some stage points here. Now he's still in the 10th position, so he may be able to hold on, get some stage points here, keep himself in a good spot out there on the speedway. But if not the stage points I think he was hoping for, man, in a race like this where those stage points are going to be make or break on a good day to a bad day. I can't believe he just gave up a good handful of them as Jordan Fisher has completed lap number 20. Fisher has already won stage number 1. Maybe that's why he did it. Maybe he already knew that this stage was pretty much over with. And for Jordan Fisher, he's won stage number 1. Matthew Wood has come home in second in this stage. Ian Lucas back in third for stage number 1. Xavier Ruggle-Brungy in position number 4. Evan Stewart will round out our top 5 here in the first stage of the day. Jack Bulte will come home in 6th. Joseph Smith in 7th. Kobe Wells in 8th. And down and across the line, we'll wait for it. Coming home 9th here in this stage in the Fish Speed Tracker Boats Bass Pro Shop. Number 51, it's Wyatt Mickelson who will come home 9th here in stage number 1. And hanging on even after making that green flag pit stop, the Fish Speed number 57 of Grant Applegate rounds out our top 10 here in the first stage of the day. But we do see some more green flag pit stops. Here comes the Prince's towing number 2 of Landon Burbage. Burbage going to virtually split this run right in half. Makes this pit stop here on lap number 20. He'll head down pit road, and now we do see Aiden Lucas heading down pit side. Xavier Ruggle-Bruggy's heading down pit road. Now Xavier did get a little piece of the outside fence right there. Hopefully no major damage there for that tied number 5 ride. But for Jordan Fisher, he is very much still just rolling out there on the racetrack. Still has 21 seconds here between himself and Matthew Wood. Now he hasn't been able to gain much more than that over the 16 ride. Matthews actually the last lap or two has been running quicker than Jordan Fisher. Not by a lot, and obviously these passes on lap traffic may be a little bit easier here for Matthew Wood, as these drivers aren't going to put up a fight for a driver that's in that second spot. It's not going to help them out at all, but they may put up a fight here to try to keep themselves on the lead lap as Jordan Fisher reeling into the 32 of Nick Biddy. Trying to put Biddy a lap down now out on the racetrack is Xavier Ruggle-Bruggy still getting his pit stop done. He'll roll back out on the racetrack. Kobe Wells, he's down pit side. Joseph Smith, Mickelson, Logan Perriman now heading down pit side here. So a lot of these drivers fighting pit road, and for right now, the 39 ride trying to find his way around that Nora Mills number 32. Looks to the outside, crosses him over, down to the inside. May have to do the same thing. No, looks like Nick Biddy realizes, all right, that's the race leader. He's out front. He's got way more speed than I do. I'm not going to hold him up any longer than I did, and allows the 39 ride around him, putting Nick Biddy now a lap down out there on the racetrack as well. So Biddy now a lap down, and that will really get to see a test here because Xavier Ruggle-Bruggy right in front of Jordan Fisher. See if he can pull away from Jordan. He should be able to. A lot fresher tires. I mean, what, 20-something lap better tires, 21 lap better tires than Jordan Fisher. He should be able to pull away here from our race leader, but if Fisher has been able to carry that much speed and that much momentum, maybe he can still keep the pressure on the back bumper of that 5 ride, especially now that Xavier is going to try to work his way through some of this traffic here as well. It's not as easy as Fisher's been making it look here, as Chas Hamby going to move down and out of the way there. The MD Turner ride will allow the 5 ride to go, but right there across the line for Xavier Ruggle-Bruggy. That last lap, I don't know if it's registered as of yet. We'll see where he kind of ran compared to Jordan Fisher. We have to wait another lap as Fisher still yet to come down pit road. So he's been able to run 23 laps here under the green flag conditions without having to make that green flag pit stop as of yet. So this is giving us a great look and some great insight here on what this final stage is going to look like for a lot of these drivers and what the strategy calls will be late in this race. How far can you roll? Because we're going to see our one and only caution flag come out on lap number 40. These guys will probably be down pit road on lap 41, making their pit stop. So we'll have to wait and see kind of where they're lined up here and how many laps they can go, because we're probably going to go back to green flag racing somewhere around lap 42, lap 43, making it probably about a 35 lap run to the end of the race. And now here we go. We see Jordan Fisher. He's not going to go much farther. He does head down pit side here. So Fisher, great pit entry right there, man. 39 ride is just absolutely on fire here at Sonoma. Man, that is interesting. But we do see everyone else come down pit road on lap 22, lap 23 for Jordan Fisher. He's going to be making some of the latest pit stops here virtually at the completion of lap number 24. So if 24 laps is as far as you can go, we should see probably everyone make it here to the end of stage number 2. I think everyone's going to have no problem making it to the end of this stage. Now, I think in that final stage, with it being probably about 35 laps of a green flag run, we will see at least one green flag pit stop for all these drivers, and I think that's going to be kind of what their goal is going to be out there on the racetrack. They had 4 sets of tires here on the day. They use a setup now. They'll use a setup at the end of stage number 2 during the caution flag, and then on that final pit stop, they'll use that fresh set of tires again to their advantage. But Jordan Fisher able to make his pit stop, able to roll back out on the racetrack, man, and he still holds a very solid lead between himself and Matthew Wood. Wood just across the start finish line. Jordan Fisher already down and out of corner number 4 and into corner number 5 here. Now Matthew, I think, may have been able to gain a little bit there on him on that pit cycle, and for Matthew just laid down his quickest lap of this race as well. So those fresh tires helped out a lot for the 16 ride, as I believe he drew into about 18 seconds behind Jordan Fisher. And now be interesting to see what Matthew Wood's kind of got up his sleeve. Has he just been kind of playing with his food here a little bit? Has he just been having fun battling with these guys and not racing too hard, not too worried about stage points here, and just knowing that he's going to want to have some fun and try to, put a whooping on these guys or battle with Jordan Fisher in that final stage of the day? We'll have to wait and see, or if maybe Fisher just is in a different time zone here this afternoon, and maybe he'll just continue on this trend and continue to pull away and put more and more of these drivers, lap down, multiple laps down, and back there behind him. And for a lot of these drivers, man, it's going to be a long day at the Speedway, but it's going to be a lot shorter than they were expecting, because our 10th place driver, Wyatt Mickelson had just went a lap down there to Jordan Fisher. So Fisher is starting to lap drivers inside of our top 10 out there on the Speedway, and that is absolutely insane. So for Jordan Fisher, lapping drivers inside the top 10, he's reeling towards some of his teammates. Now he just put the Fish Speed, Bass Pro Shops 51, Wyatt Mickelson a lap down. Next up is Colby Wells, the 45 ride, another one of his teammates. A little farther ahead here, though. There is a big gap between 9th and 10th out there on the racetrack, and it is about 30 seconds, 28 seconds out there between Colby Wells and Wyatt Mickelson. So Wells is a bit farther forward here, but still very much at risk before the end of this second stage to see that 39 ride on his back bumper and trying to put him a lap down here. Joseph Smith may be at risk. Jack Bulty may be at risk. Even Xavier Rongo-Broggi and Evan Stewart may be still, in a position where they could find themselves going a lap down out there on the racetrack as 26 laps into this race. And we see Colby Wells is 54 seconds back behind our race leader. Joseph Smith is 51 seconds back. Jack Bulty's 37 seconds. Same with Xavier Rongo-Broggi. And so these guys could very much, one mistake, one slip up, and staying on the same pace, they could see Jordan Fisher in their rearview mirror. And a quick hurry, as last time around, Matthew Wood laid down the quickest lap of this race. So Jordan Fisher previously had that quick time with a 1 minute, 13 second, and 21 millisecond lap time, a 1:13:21. Matthew Wood last time around ran a 1:13:18, 3/100ths of a second faster than Jordan Fisher's quickest lap out there on the racetrack. So for Matthew Wood, he's starting to lay down these quick times, and he's hoping that he can try to reel in that 39 machine. But since the pit stop, Jordan Fisher has actually opened up the race lead. He's now 19 seconds back in front of Matthew Wood. So I'm not sure if Matthew's just going to have to hang on here, wait for that, caution flag at the end of stage number 2. Is now Jordan Fisher just laid out another quick time. Fisher just laid down a 1:13:04. He says, hey, I saw your quick time. I decided I was going to beat it. Next time around, lays down a blazing fast lap and puts himself back into the front of the field here for the quick time out there on the racetrack by over a 1/10.5 a second, 1/10.5 faster than Matthew Wood's quickest lap here of this race. And for a lot of these other drivers, man, no one's even close to those two for the quick times here this afternoon, but no one is, again, in line or in touch of that quick time of Jordan Fisher. So Fisher out in front, just picking right up where he left off before those green flag pit stops, tracking down more and more of these drivers, and with some good clean air here on the nose of this 39 ride, he's going to be putting down some more really fast lap times and looking to reel in more and more of these drivers to work themselves around him and trying to put themselves into a better spot. As you do see even Blevins down pit road here. Blevins back down pit side here on his 25th lap of the race, and for the Skyline ride, we'll head down to his pit stall, get some work done, get some tires, and get ready to roll back out there onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, he is scored back in about the 22nd spot on the speedway. As we do see Fisher out in front, Matthew Woods in second. He's got some good lap traffic here in front of him that he's trying to work his way through, and that may hold him up even more, and including some of those drivers that are up in towards the front of the field here, as Nick Biddy and Wyatt Mickelson running 11th and 12th here. Matthew is just trying to work his way around our 11th and 12th place driver on the racetrack here this afternoon. Jordan Fisher is plenty of the ways gone from those guys, man. He's 21 seconds now ahead of Matthew Wood, and with Matthew having a lot of lap traffic right here, this is just going to slow him up even more, and it's going to make things even tougher and tighter for him to try to navigate his way back to Jordan Fisher. So I think his bet is made. I think he's just going to have to settle in here for that second spot here in Stage 1 and Stage 2 this afternoon. Allow Jordan Fisher to win these stages and sweep the stages here at Sonoma Raceway, and wait for that stage break at the end of stage number 2 here this afternoon, and have that free opportunity to reel back into the 39 ride and then trying to go after him, trying to make something happen and battle for the race win here late in this race. But for Jordan Fisher, man, 22 seconds out in front. He is just on cruise control. He is just sitting pretty out there on the speedway, and he's looked pretty dang invincible here this evening. Fisher looking to try to pick up a big dub here at Sonoma Raceway. Wood in second, Aiden Lucas back there in third. Pretty solid day for Aiden Lucas. Applegate's back in position number 4 with Evan Stewart there in 5th. Xavier Rugglebruggy back in that 6th position as the 6-7 ride of Jack Bulty back there in that 7th spot on the speedway. Then we see Joseph Smith in 8th, Kobe Wells in 9th, and then our race leader Jordan Fisher not too far away from potentially starting to put Kobe Wells and Joseph Smith a lap down out there on the speedways. Wells now 1 minute and 2 seconds back behind our race leader, and that means that he's only, about 12-13 seconds away from being on Colby's back bumper here this afternoon. And now with Jordan Fisher just completing lap number 30, we still have 10 laps left to go here in this first stage of the day. So still 10 laps left to go in stage number 1, and for a lot of these drivers, I'm sure they're having some fun. They're having some great times out there on the speedway. But when you're falling this far back, when you're going a lap down out there on the racetrack, man, it is never that fun. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I think for a lot of these drivers, they knew it was going to be a challenge. They knew it was going to be tough. Whether it was Jordan Fisher or Matthew Wood at the front of the field, I think they knew that those were going to be the two guys that were going to be, winning this race. And they're just trying to survive, hope other drivers run into issues, hope that they can just stay on the racing surface and not fall too far behind, and just come out of this one with a good solid run here on the evening. And for a lot of them, that's just kind of their main goal, just to survive and come out of this with a half decent finish, maybe the front half of the field, not the back half of the field, and walk away with this one with no big issues here and no penalties, no nothing else to hinder your performance next Sunday night. But for Jordan Fisher, obviously he knew this was one that he had circled, and he knew that this was going to be a race that he was going to be able to come out here, perform well, and potentially put himself up and into victory lane, as he's got 23 seconds between himself and our second place driver out there on the speedway. It's about 33, almost 34 seconds back to our third place driver out there on the racetrack. Then you do see Applegate and Evan Stewart there in 4th and 5th, and I believe Xavier Rugglebruggy about 9 seconds back behind them, with Jack Bulty right right there with him. And another 16 seconds back, you do see Joseph Smith, and 5 seconds behind him, you see that 45 ride of Colby Wells, but they're headed down through these S's back down the hill, and Jordan Fisher, he's there as well, and he is closing in a quick hurry to their back bumpers, man. I'm sure if they're looking in that rearview mirror, they're probably seeing them down these longer straightaways and knowing that, hey, that is our race leader, and he is reeling into me in a quick hurry. So they're going to have to try to figure out how to keep themselves on the lead lap here for at least another 8 laps on the racetrack if they want to still give themselves a good opportunity and a good chance at potentially trying to win this race. Or a lot of these drivers are going to have to take some big wave rounds here to try to get themselves back in the lead lap. And I think we may see a lot of drivers try to pull that strategy before the end of this stage. I think there's going to be a lot of drivers that will probably roll out here. You know, if you look back at, you know, Colby Wells and Joseph Smith, if they do go a lap down here before the end of stage number 2, they'll be looking for the lucky dog, but also looking for a wave around here at the end of the stage back on the lead lap. So if they pit a lap or two beforehand, have a little bit better tire, and try to take that wave around, maybe that'll put them back on the lead lap here. And if they don't fall too far back, then they won't lose 2 laps and be trapped 2 laps down. But if they're 1 lap down still, they got fresh tires and fuel, I think that's got to be the strategy call for a lot of these drivers. Even when you look at Michael Boyles or Nick Biddy, Wyatt Mickelson, they're going to be working the numbers here. If they give up 40 seconds, 50 seconds down pit road, will that put them 2 laps down, or will they be able to stay 1 lap down on the racetrack? And I think for a lot of them, that number is getting tougher and tougher to see, because I think for Michael Boyles, man, I don't know, if he comes down pit road, he might be able to stay in front of Jordan Fisher. He might not be able to. Same with Nick Biddy and Wyatt Mickelson, especially when you look back here at these guys, man. Our race leader, you know, is not too far away from him, making a green flag pit stop. When you're 2 laps down, man, that's going to be tough to battle back from. So we'll have to see kind of how this plays out and who's going to be able to gamble, who's going to take the risk here and risk it for the brisket and try to make a big, bold strategy call and see if they can kind of split this stage up, kind of give up maybe some stage points, or even just give up a couple positions, go a lap down, but get that wave around back of the lead lap, have good fuel, good tires, just be at the back of the field, and then try to race your way up there, but still being on the lead lap is going to be better than finding yourself a lap down here for that final stage of the day. It's Jordan Fisher, though, out in front, just clicking him off here, man, as quick as he can. Last time around, another second off in front of Matthew Wood, another second quicker than our second place driver. No one else really right there with him. And for Jordan Fisher, going to come down, click off lap number 34. We're 6 laps to go here until the end of stage number 2. So 6 more laps until we see our one and only caution flag throughout this race. We'll only see 1 yellow flag here this evening, and unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, that's not something they want to hear. It's not something they want to see, as you do see Joseph Smith and Colby Wells not too far in front of him, and he's coming a quick hurry here. If you're Wells, that's your teammate, but man, he is right there on your back bumper, and you got some lap traffic you're trying to navigate yourself around. Unfortunately, they're not going to put up too much of a fight here for Jordan Fisher, but they put up a bit of a fight there for Colby Wells. That slowed him down a little bit more, and you see the 39 ride and how quickly he's just going to reel in to this 45 machine and potentially put our 9th place driver a lap down here before the end of stage number 2 this afternoon. Man, this is an insanely great performance out of that 39 ride, man. A master class, to say the least, here at Sonoma, and he is not looking to slow down one little bit as Colby Wells just trying to keep himself on the lead lap. And I think if you're Wells, you got to go with that strategy that I was talking about here. Once he gets around you, the next time around, you got to come down pit road here. So I think he's just trying to wait until at least maybe a couple laps left in this stage. Got to make sure you hit your numbers there in that final stage for your final pit stop of the day. But if you want to give yourself the best opportunity to keep yourself on the lead lap here, not just here in stage number 2, but obviously to give yourself the best opportunity to finish this race on the lead lap, you got to risk it for the brisket. You're about to lose the lap right now. You come down pit road. You keep yourself only one lap down out on the racetrack, and that gives you an opportunity to get the wave around back in the lead lap to start that third stage. So I think for, drivers like Kobe Wells, Joseph Smith, even for drivers like Jack Buelty or Xavier Rugglebrugge, who are, 50 seconds back here of our race leader, it may be a good call. It may be a good strategy to do that exact same move. And if you're a driver like Matthew Wood or Aiden Lucas, maybe you're pitting here before the end of the stage as well. Maybe even Jordan Fisher will make an additional pit stop. I mean, he's got 26 seconds between himself and Matthew Wood. If he comes down pit road, yeah, he may give up the stage win, but I mean, he'll have fresh tires and good track position and everything else here. I don't know, man. It's gonna be it'll be a tough call. It'll be an interesting call because I don't know, man. If Aiden Lucas, Evan Stewart, any of those guys, if they pit, they're at risk of going a lap down. I think Matthew Wood may be the only other driver that may be able to pit here and not lose a lap to Jordan Fisher before the end of this second stage. So we may see a lot of different drivers playing some big wild card pit stops here in the next few laps, especially as Jordan Fisher down these S's once again, heading back into the bottom half of this racetrack. In the back half of it is he's about 7/10 of the way through this lap, and obviously inching closer and closer to completing lap number 37 and seeing 3 more laps left to go. Here in stage number 2 is here comes the 99 down pit road, and here comes Jordan Fisher. All right, Fisher heads down pit side. Now, I think this was a little bit earlier than I was expecting out of that 39 ride, but knowing that there's only that one caution flag that will fly throughout this race, I think he gets a lot more of a clear and obvious perspective of where he'll have to make his final pit stop of this race, his final green flag stop there in that final stage. But we'll see. Matthew Wood stays out on the racetrack. Fisher just down into his stall here on the racetrack. So he hits his stall. Matthew Wood, nice and easy through that final corner across the line and will pass Jordan Fisher. The first time he's been passed here this evening as Matthew Wood leapfrogs him. He will take over the race lead now for Matthew. What's the strategy call here? Do you keep on running, pick up the second stage win of the day, and then obviously give up that extra track position, give him the race lead back here at the end of this stage, and then try to battle with them? I mean, maybe you have a few lap better tires. Maybe that's the call for Matthew Wood. You get a couple lap better tires. Yeah, you may not have the pole position for the restart, but may still be in a good spot here, and obviously picking up the stage points and getting the bonus point towards the playoffs is a big bonus in your back pocket if you're the 16 ride. So for Matthew Wood, we'll have to wait and see. I think he's going to be really working that calculator, trying to figure out what his game plan is. Obviously, he's only 13.5 seconds in front of Jordan Fisher. So for Fisher, I mean, he's not too far back there behind him. And for Matthew, I think he's obviously going to go with the strategy of coming down pit road. So he heads down pit side. He's going to make his second green flag pit stop here, and that will forfeit the race lead back over to Jordan Fisher. So Fisher able to pit here so far forward that only one driver was able to get around him down pit road, and that was Matthew Wood. Aiden Lucas was right there, but was not able to pass that 39 ride. Either was Evan Stewart, as we do see Applegate also heading down pit road. So some of our race leaders making that pit stop and seeing if it'll work into their favor. Now, it also opens up the door here for other drivers that are still left down, but to maybe make this pit stop and try to run a little bit of a different strategy out there on the speedway. We'll have to wait and see what the call is here for, drivers like Kobe Wells, Joseph Smith, Nick Biddy, Wyatt Mickelson, Ryan Haller. You're still left down out there on the racetrack. Do you pit here, keep yourself one lap down, but get the wave around here at the end of this stage to get yourself back on the lead lap? I think that's got to be a strategy you got to take advantage of here this evening, as Jordan Fisher back out front looks like he's going to be able to pick up another stage win here this evening, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance That is Jordan Fisher, man, able to make a pit stop, able to still be in the race lead here after only one other driver. Matthew Wood came down pit side. You take a look back at Matthew. He's back in that 6th position, so he made his pit stop and lost, 4 spots out there on the racetrack, where Jordan Fisher made his stop and only lost 1 position out there on the speedway, but got it back with Matthew making that pit stop. Matthew getting some pressure here as there goes the 31. Joseph Smith going to roll around him here. I think Matthew's trying to save those tires as much as he can here, as Jordan Fisher already completed lap 39. This is the final lap here of our 2nd stage of this race. So we're about to see our first caution flag of the day be displayed, ladies and gentlemen. That means the first time we will get all these drivers stacked back up, lined back up, and ready for a restart. And for a lot of these drivers, man, the strategy calls are going to be flying late in this race. And for right now, there is 10 drivers on the lead lap after Fisher had made that pit stop. It goes all the way to the 0-5 of Michael Boyles. Boyles is the last driver on the lead lap. Nick Biddy is currently the first car 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, in line for the lucky dog. Unfortunately, Wyatt Mickelson too far away from him, not in line for that lucky dog. Neither is the 60 of Ryan Hall here this evening. But for Jordan Fisher, down and across the line, he will win stage 1 and win stage number 2 here this evening in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. Aiden Lucas will come home in 2nd. Evan Stewart will come home in 3rd. Xavier Rugglebroggy down and across the line will finish off this stage in position number 4. Jack Buelty there in 5th, and then we'll wait another 20 seconds here before we see Joseph Smith in the 31 ride. As long as he doesn't make a mistake right here, 31 machine will come home 6th in stage number 2. Matthew Wood a little farther back behind him will come home in position number 7 here in this stage. Colby Wells will be back in position number 8 as there's the race down across the line. Wood in 7th, Colby Wells in 8th, Grant Applegate down across the line in position number 9, and rounding out our top 10, it is the 0-5 ride, Michael Boyles. Boyles will come home in that 10th spot here in the stage. All earning some stage points, man, but, man, this shows you, I mean, Fisher's been done his, he's been done this stage now for, a minute and a bit, and we're finally seeing our 10th place driver head down and complete this stage. The stage is finally done, finally over with, as Michael Boyles rounds out that top 10 out there on the speedway. But for Jordan Fisher and the rest of the field, we'll see them all slowly but surely reel back into his rear bumper, and we'll get them all lined up and ready to, maybe make some pit stops here. There's going to be a lot of drivers that will have to head down pit road. When you look at Aiden Lucas, Evan Stewart, Xavier Rugglebroggy, Jack Buelty, Joseph Smith, Colby Wells, Michael Boyles, they'll all have to come down pit road. Majority of our lap down drivers will also have to pit here this afternoon. But Nick Biddy will get the lucky dog here. He'll get the free pass back on the lead lap. I believe for Landon Burbage, he pitted back on lap 37. Still only 1 lap down out there on the racetrack. So I believe for Landon Burbage, maybe in line for the free pass here. We'll have to wait and see, because he may not be able to get the free pass if Jordan Fisher and Matthew Wood stay out on the racetrack. They won't be ahead of them, and they won't be able to get that wave around. So I'm not sure if that strategy will actually work here for Landon Burbage this afternoon, but obviously trying to go for that strategy call. And then Austin Thompson still lapped down. Jace LaForte there, they got a pit again as well. Ian Huey a couple laps down, back at 18th. Jason Bogart, Chess Hamby, they're all lapped down, or multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. Jacob Lee's got a black flag here, so he's going to have to do some sort of a pass-through penalty here as well, or a hold down pit road, as Fish Mom says, "That's my boy! That's my boy!" Yeah, man, it's been the Jordan Fisher show here this afternoon, man. This Fish Speed Brakes TA3 Designs TI Racing, or T1 Racing. Is it T1 or TI Racing? Can't remember what it is. Is it TI or T1 Racing, ladies and gentlemen? That's the big question here. I always think it's the T1 Racing team, but let's take a look at it. Where are they? Okay, they're not even in this Discord, so I can't even look at it. Okay, you're not in the wheel-to-wheel racing Discord, man. We need to get those fish speed rides in there, or at least make it not a hidden channel so we know. But you do see him staying out here, does not make that pit stop, where we do see Aiden Lucas, Evan Stewart, Xavier Rungelbrugge, Jack Beauty, all these guys coming down pit road. Matthew Wood is going to stay out. He does not need to pit as well. So for Jordan Fisher and Matthew Wood, they'll get ready to rumble here once again from first and second out there on the speedway here for another big restart this afternoon. As Mrs. Haller says, come on, Mickelson, Haller, time to move it up. She says, time to move it up. Yes, ma'am, you know it. As you do see that Princess towing number 2 ride, Landon Burbage. He wants a free pass. He wants a wave around back on the lead lap here. Looks like he may get it. Or, yeah, looks like he's going to get it. All right, great break there for Landon Burbage. Gets the free pass back on the lead lap, so that's a good break for him, as I believe Nick Biddy came down pit road, did not take the lucky dog, so it goes to Landon Burbage. Great break there for Landon, getting him back into the battle here this afternoon after a black flag on the opening laps kind of set him back a good distance, and obviously enough where he lost that lap, but making that earlier pit stop on lap 37. Now getting the wave around, you'll be at the tail end of the field, but back on lead lap here and back into the battle here this afternoon as Miss Seller says, go Landon! Yeah, Landon, I mean, great break there for him. Back on the lead lap, scored in the 11th position. We'll see if he can gain any more spots here throughout this final stage of the day, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsor this afternoon.
Got wood. KK Wood Skills.
Alrighty, as the lights are off, the official iRacing pace truck. Next time back around, we will go back to Green Flag Racing here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. As Jordan Fisher is our race leader still on the speedway, and for the first and only restart here this evening, he'll be looking for the same fate and the good luck that he had on the initial start of this race, and hoping that maybe Matthew Wood slips up again, opens up the door for him to pull away from that 16 ride, or maybe Matthew will minimize these mistakes on the restart, try to hang with that 39 ride, and maybe put some pressure here on Jordan Fisher for the race win this afternoon, as they have been the class of the field here this evening. But we still have an opportunity that, maybe Aiden Lucas running there in third, or Grant Applegate, Xavier Rungelbrugge, the 34 ride of Evan Stewart, Joseph Smith, Jack Beauty, Colby Wells, Landon Burbage, and Michael Boyles, our top 11 here, all on the lead lap here, all still in a golden opportunity and in position that maybe they can, take a shot and find their way into victory lane here this evening, as 11 drivers on the lead lap here. We started with 29 drivers out there on the racetrack. I do believe a bunch of them have already called it in early days. I believe Austin Guerrero, Michael Durham Jr., Trent Johns, Darren Engler, Virgil Perriman, Logan Perriman, Jason Bogart have all called it a day here. They've all taken their cars off the speedway, so we only got 21 drivers still rolling out there on the racetrack. Everyone else back behind 21st to 29th is done out of this race. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 drivers. 8 drivers, unfortunately, done early here this evening. So 8 drivers done early here this afternoon, but we still got a lot of racing left to go. Still a lot of laps left to go here in this feature event with only 11 drivers left on the lead lap for Matthew Wood and Jordan Fisher. They're going to get ready for a big restart right here, and as we go back to Green Flag Racing, we will jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here on the restart, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League from Sonoma Raceway as we see the green flag come back. Alrighty, a beautiful crank it up session out there on the speedway. Jordan Fisher continues to hang on to the race lead there as a crazy restart. A lot of issues in a lot of those front runners that we talked about, unfortunately running into issues. Obviously for Jordan Fisher, no problem at all here for that beautiful 39 ride as he's back out in front, just running away here. He's opened up about a 4-second gap between himself and his teammate Grant Applegate out there as Applegate rolls in position number 2. But for Jordan Fisher, man, he's got this race lead and he is feeling a-okay running away here with this one and hoping to find his way into victory lane here this evening as he's got that 4-second gap, almost up to 5 seconds now between himself and his teammate Grant Applegate there in second. His other teammate, the Fish Speed Brakes number 34 ride, Evan Stewart, rolls there in that 3rd position. A little farther back, you do see the 05 of Michael Boyles and the 5 ride of Xavier Rugglebruggy running there in 4th and 5th. Joseph Smith back in 6th, and then we see Colby Wells, Aiden Lucas, Jack Bulty there in 9th, and Landon Burbage rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. And unfortunately, we did see Matthew Wood run into issues, and I believe for Mr. Wood, he has called it a day. He has taken the car back down behind pit wall and out of this race. Let's take a look back here at the restart, because this is where we saw those issues for the 16 ride as he heads down through corner number 1. Just looks like he loses the rear end here. Looks like he tried to push in there as hard as he could, and unfortunately for the 16 of Mr. Wood, making this mistake puts him into a very, very bad position. As here we go. Take a look at it. No contact or anything else, and just lose the rear end. Car steps out and around on him, slides through this grass, and sees all these cars going by him. And as he's trying to get rolling here, obviously still in the grass, we did see a few other drivers get tangled up, but he finds himself so far back, and then unfortunately just takes himself out of this race. But let's take a look here at the contact between a couple of these other drivers, man. Jack Bulty and the 34 of Aiden Lucas. It looks like Aiden gonna get a little helping hand here from the number 5 of Xavier Rugglebruggy. I believe Zay is gonna get in here, gonna make some contact with him right there. And as he runs into the 34, just knocks him loose. He's sideways on the racetrack. He washes up into the middle of the speedway. Nowhere for Jack Bulty here to go, and unfortunately for Jack, travels up the racetrack, hoping to get to the outside of the 34 ride, ends up driving right into the side of that Highway Patrol 34 ride. They come to a stop there on the high side of corner number 2, and unfortunately see all these drivers stroll on by them, and unfortunately this puts them very, very deep out there in the racetrack and very deep in the field here. And unfortunately, shortly thereafter, we did see Matthew Wood take his car out of this race, as I believe he may have ran in. Oh, that was the same issue here on the racetrack, so I'm not too sure. Okay, here we go. Looks like Matthew, lap 46. Okay, this is down through the S's, and it looks like right here he's just gonna, I don't know if he accidentally missed that corner or if that's another issue that he ran into, but then he's gonna just stay down through the grass right there, and unfortunately then 30 tires goes around, and I think right there he hits the Alt F4 and closes the iRacing application and leaves the race. So unfortunately that takes him out of this race and out of contention, and for the number 16 ride, he'll fall back into the 21st position, and another driver down and out of this race. So we only have 20 drivers left rolling out there on the racetrack as of this moment. Keegan Huey does look like he is also down pit side here. So there's Huey. He's also down pit road. He does have quite a bit of front end damage here in that State Trooper number 38. Ryan trying to get it repaired. We'll have to wait and see if he does get back out onto the racetrack, if he does rejoin the field. But as of right now, he may also be done and out of this race and not rolling back out there on the speedway. So we start with 29 drivers. I believe we only got 19 left rolling out there on the racetrack right now. So 10 drivers potentially done early here this evening, and for now only 10 drivers left on the lead lap. And for Jordan Fisher, he's picked right up where he left off. That's out in front and running away here with this one, as he has a massive lead. The Fish Speed Brakes 39 ride out in front with a 6-second gap here between himself and Grant Applegate. And I think for right now, he's just counting these laps off, man, on cruise control, hitting his marks, not making any mistakes. I don't think he's got to really push all too hard, even though he's still running really, really good lap times here. He's the only driver out there on the racetrack running in the 1 minute and 13-second time frame. A lot of these other drivers are still in that 114 section, 115, 116, and beyond here this evening. But for Jordan Fisher, he can be on cruise control here. He's got a good enough lead. He's got a couple teammates back there behind him where even if they do catch him, that, he's not going to have to be too worried about them making a bad move or wrecking him out there on the racetrack or putting him into a difficult position. So for the 39 ride, he's got a lot of free space out there on the speedway. Should take advantage of it, clean air, and just trying to keep himself comfortable here at the front of the pack. Biding his time, waiting until he makes this final green flag pit stop of the day, which could be not too far away. I feel we're going to see a lot of these drivers back down pit sign somewhere around lap number 60 here this evening. Maybe a little bit past that, but not too far past it here this afternoon, as they'll kind of split this final stage, this final run of the day, and then obviously just drive it home to hopefully victory lane here for the 39 ride of Jordan Fisher, as Grant Applegate back there behind him having a good run, sitting in that second position. We saw him running the mistakes. We saw him pit early there and after stage number 1, or actually right before the end of stage number 1. And for the 57, though, he finds himself here in second. He's got that Fish Speed teammate of his right on his back bumper of Evan Stewart. So Fish Speed right now sits 1, 2, and 3 out there on the racetrack, and a big gap here between Evan Stewart to our fourth place driver, almost 6 seconds back. You see the 0.5 of Michael Boyles and Xavier Roggelbrunke not too far off his back bumper. Joseph Smith right there with him in that rush hour karting number 31 ride there in that 6th spot on the speedway. Kobe Wells a little farther back in his Fish Speed ride there in 7th with Aiden Lucas, Jack Buelty, and Landon Burbage rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. So Landon still in that 10th position, but unfortunately he has fallen quite a bit farther back here, and for the Princess Towing number 2 ride, he finds himself about 52 seconds behind our ranks leader and could be at risk of being the next driver to go a lap down out there on the racetrack. But there's a lot of other drivers that Jordan Fisher's going to have to run into and try to work around here in the next little bit, as Nick Biddy battling here with Ryan Haller for that 11th spot on the speedway. Nick Biddy trying to hang on to it. Ryan Haller trying to take that 11th spot away from him. And then we see Wyatt Mickelson back in that 13th position, a little farther back there, and then Austin Thompson and Terrence Murphy are top 15, and our top 15 are all on the lead lap or 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, and then 2 laps down you do see Jace LaForte, who's now scored in the 16th position. Chess Hamby, I do believe, is 5 laps down in the 17th spot. Stephen Blevins 6 laps down there in 18th. Jacob Lee also 6 laps down or 7 laps down out there on the racetrack. Keegan Huey down and out of this race, and everyone else also done for the day. As Mrs. Holler says, come on, Ryan, get up behind Landon, hoping to try to work his way up and into that 11th position. I mean, he's right there, man. He was working on Nick Biddy. We'll have to wait and see if he can make that pass, if he can draw him back in. But Biddy does pull away from Ryan Haller here, builds a bit of a lead and a bit of a gap there between himself and that Dasani number 60 ride, as Haller rolls there in that 12th position, which is still honestly a great day, man. Only going at least 1 lap down. Maybe you lose another lap. Maybe you go 2 laps down here throughout this final stage. Nonetheless, for the 60 rider Ryan Haller, I mean, if you can finish off here inside the top 15, the top half of this field, I mean, he's still going to take it as a bit of a W, a bit of a just a good run, good solid day, good solid race without any major issues or putting yourself into a bad spot, and unfortunately taking out of this one. And we'll have to wait and see if Haller can hang on to it here this afternoon, as Mrs. Haller laughed and said, spelt Landon as Camden. Camden, he can do it. He's Camden, he can do it, okay? As Huey says, Turns out a road course might not be the best place to try out a new wheel. Oh, brother, yeah, that would not be that fun. That would definitely not be that fun. That would definitely be very, very challenging. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to learn it, trying to figure it out, and obviously trying to figure out your steering ratio and everything else and all your settings. And turning left is one thing, but turning left and right and having a brake and everything else, man, it's a lot of input to trying to figure out in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. But hey, I mean, hey, still 20th place, man. I mean, there's 10 other drivers that are done before you, Huey. So I mean, not a terrible day, not an awful day, obviously not a great day either, but could have been a whole lot worse, man. 20th is a lot better than 29th out there on the speedway. As Anna says, I was wondering who Camden was. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, who the is Camden? It's Camden Burbage. Camden can do it. He can battle back. He can work himself back into this battle at the front of the field. Let's see if he can get up there and make it happen, as we're starting to see some more green flag pit stops. So here we go. Aiden Lucas heads down pit side here at the completion of lap number 58. So, with that being said, completing lap number 58 here, I believe that gives him a 19-lap run to the checkered flag here this afternoon. So, 19 laps, I mean, that's right in that fuel window, and he should be good to go. Mrs. Holler says, I said I'm funny. Hey, we're agreeing with you, Mrs. Holler. We're agreeing with you. Okay, we're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you, okay? Okay, you are definitely funny. And now here comes our race leader, Jordan Fisher, also down pit side. Let's see if this brings a lot of other drivers with him down pit road. Next up is Applegate, but looks like he's going to stay out on the racing surface. So is an Evan Stewart. So Applegate hoping that he can lead a lap, and he will pass Jordan Fisher before that start-finish line. So Grant Applegate leads lap number 59 here this evening, but still has to make that final pit stop of the day. So does an Evan Stewart and Michael Boyles, all these other drivers. Now I think what they're really hoping for is that a lot of these guys start to pit lap after lap after lap, and if they can kind of get them all to start to pit here one lap at a time, maybe they can all start to lead a lap, try to earn an extra bonus point into their back pocket. Obviously, Applegate just led this lap. If he comes down pit road, it could allow his teammate Evan Stewart to lead a lap. Michael Boyles then would want to see Evan Stewart come down pit road where he can lead a lap, and for a lot of these drivers, they may get that opportunity, as this is the first time that, the 39 ride wasn't so far out in front that he was able to pit and still come out in that second position and not allow really anyone else to lead some laps except for Matthew Wood there for a lap or two before he decided to dive down pit road. So for Jordan Fisher, he's back in the 8th position right here, and it opens up the door for a lot of these guys to potentially lead some laps out there on the racetrack. But we do see Grant Applegate and Evan Stewart both come down pit road right here. Michael Boyles also going to head down pit side. Xavier Ruggle-Brugge hoping that he can maybe lead a lap here if he can beat this 57 to the start finish line, and I believe he will do so. So here on lap number 60, Xavier Ruggle-Brugge able to lead his first lap of this race. That's an extra bonus point in his back pocket here for leading a lap on the day. And I think now Colby Wells is hoping for that same fate, hoping to see Xavier pit the next lap here. Then he'll go another lap farther, and then he'll come down pit road, and they can both lead a lap and add an extra point to their back pocket. Now, I'm actually quite surprised that we didn't see Evan Stewart kind of go with that strategy as well in the 34 ride. Is new number here as well for Aiden Luke, because this one kind of caught us off guard. You have to change that in SDK as the 34 machine. Now, isn't there already another 34 ride? What in the world's going on with that? I don't know if he just got the wrong number on, or maybe he was making a paint scheme for somebody else, but definitely messing with us, is that's usually Aiden Lucas's number. Aiden's the 34 ride, and now all of a sudden Evan Stewart's the 34 ride, and he's just messing with our brains here this evening. But nonetheless, Evan Stewart sits in that 6th position after making that pit stop here. Still comes out behind that 57 of Grant Applegate, and Jordan Fisher still plenty of seconds in front of them here. Has about 11, almost 12 seconds between himself and Grant Applegate, and you do see 39 ride passing Jack Bulty right there, as we did see Xavier come down pit road. Colby Wells going to lead a lap right there. So another Fish Speed Brakes ride going to lead a lap here this evening. So great break there for Colby Wells. And I do believe next time by he will head down pit side. And now for the 2 rider, Landon Burbage. Burbage heads down pit road. Unfortunately for Landon, he ends up with a black flag here. Too fast entering pit lane. And it looks like for Landon Burbage, he's going to get a hold down pit road, and I do believe for another driver, Aiden Lucas. Aiden's been down pit road for an extended period of time here. I'm not sure if he's going to roll back out onto the racetrack. Stephen Blevins as well. We'll have to wait and see if he jumps back out there, and it looks like Jacob Lee in the 21 has taken his car off the racetrack and out of this race. So they're dropping like flies here late in this one. More and more drivers ended up down pit road and not rolling back out onto the racetrack, man, is very, very interesting. But for Colby Wells, he's got the race lead. He's going to stay out for at least another lap here. Looking to lead another lap here all the afternoon as his teammate Jordan Fisher reeling him in, though, in a quick hurry. Is nice and easy down across the line. They'll complete lap number 62. And we got 15 laps of racing action left to go here from Sonoma. So 15 laps left, and that time by, Jordan Fisher just laid down his quickest lap of this race, the quickest lap of this race, a 1 minute and 13 second flat. 1:13.00 seconds on the board there for a quick time for Jordan Fisher. No one else is really anywhere close, especially anyone else still running out there on the racetrack. Matthew Wood has the second quickest lap time. He's been done since lap number 45. He ran a 1:13.18. And I believe only two other drivers have ran in that 1 minute 13 second bracket. Actually, there's a couple that have ran in there, but no one's close to that 13 even here. As Grant Applegate just ran a 1:13.49 a little while ago. We saw Evan Stewart run a 1:13.47. And then I think, Aiden Lucas ran a 1:13.97. So only 5 drivers here throughout this race have ran in that 1 minute and 13 second bracket out there on the racetrack. No one else has ran a 1:13 here this evening. Everyone else has ran 1:14s or beyond here this evening, as Anna says, Landon, stop driving like your grandma. Slow down, son. Slow down. Son, you gotta slow down, especially down pit road. Out on the racetrack, speed up. But down pit road, you gotta slow down. You gotta hit that brake pedal. You can't get caught speeding down pit lane. And unfortunately for Landon, he did get caught. Now, luckily enough, I don't think it's gonna cost him really too much. Maybe a position or two, as he is going to be able to try to battle and keep Nick Biddy back there at bay. Nick Biddy is also lapped down. Landon also lapped down now on the speedway. For the 2 ride, he's got about 3 seconds between himself and that 32, so we'll try to keep Nick Biddy back there at bay as Biddy now rolls in that 10th position. Ryan Haller sits in 11th out there on the racetrack, as Aiden Lucas, unfortunately done and out of this race, has dropped out of the top 10 and now back in about the 16th position, as I do believe, well, no, Jess Hamby's still rolling here. He may be able to gain another spot, and he will, as he rolls down and, across the 34 ride right here. He will steal at least another spot away. Aiden Lucas will fall to 17th. Jess Hamby, who's a few laps down, will jump up into 16th. So a good point there and a good work there for him. But now we see Wyatt Mickelson. Wyatt, unfortunately, we heard the crash. We heard something happen. And it's Wyatt Mickelson, who's now down pit side. Heavy damage here on this Bass Pro Shops number 51 machine. Let's take a look back and see what happens here to this 51 ride. Now, it shows this damage here beforehand. I don't think this was there, but maybe it was. Maybe it was the engine expiring here on the 51 down across the start-finish line. As here he goes through the corner, gets a little contact there into the fence, and there it is. Yep, it is the motor. The bottom end just dropped out of that 51 ride. He's going to come to a stop. He's going to tow it right down pit road, as he knows he's not going to probably be able to work it with no power back around the racetrack, so he tows it right down pit side. Unfortunately for Wyatt Mickelson, looks like his day may be done as well. Jace Laforte, though, going to stick with it here. He may be able to gain another spot with Wyatt now down pit road for an extended period of time. Same with Chess Hamby here this evening as well if he sticks with it. But looks like Aiden Lucas, Stephen Blevins. Actually, Blevins still rolling out there. Jacob Lee looks like he's done for the day. Same with Keegan Huey. So if Mickelson is done for the afternoon, I mean, what are we at here, man? I think we're only at 1, 2. Okay, I think we're going to be looking at 16, 17 drivers still rolling out there on the racetrack, still in contention or still battling here this evening. And obviously for Jordan Fisher, I mean, he's out front. Colby Wells, man, he's been going for a while here. Now, he was down pit road. They were all down pit side on lap number 42. We saw them go about 24 laps, were the longest lengths there that drivers were going in that first stage, in that first stint for fuel. So I think that's probably roughly where he can roll, is 24 laps. And I believe after pitting on lap 42, they're about to complete lap number 66 here. So I'm assuming we're going to see Colby Wells down pit road this time. If not this time, he'll have to pit during the next wave of green flag pit stops. But for right now, he sticks with it, staying out on the racetrack. He's going to run another lap here, so he must feel he's got enough fuel. He's going to go for at least another lap and try to run this stage out as long as he can and just trying to hang on to the second position. I think Jack Bulte's in that same spot here. Both were down pit road on lap 42. I don't know if they can save enough fuel to get to the end of this race. I don't think they can make it that far. I think they're going to have to make a pit stop here sooner rather than later, and then hope that their fresh tires can make up 30, 40 seconds here and try to battle back towards, Applegate, Evan Stewart, Michael Boyles, Xavier Roggelbrugge, Joseph Smith here is only our top 8 left on the lead lap here this afternoon. And as Colby Wells continues to roll out there and Jack Bulte, I mean, they're just running farther and farther off the pace compared to our race leader, Jordan Fisher, and that could put them into a spot where if they do have to make this late race pit stop, they may potentially go a lap down here as well, as we did see Landon run into some more issues there, slid off the racetrack. That's going to bring Nick Biddy right back to him, as we do see Colby Wells now down pit road, so he is finally making that pit stop. So isn't Jack Bulte here, as they're going to pit here on lap number 67. Well, they just completed lap number 67, so I believe we only got 10 laps left to go here in this feature event. So 10 more laps left to get it done here in this one from Sonoma Raceway. And for Jordan Fisher, man, he's just sitting pretty out in front, man. It's been the Fisher show here this evening, as it's apparently Fisher's price here, because he has just been running away from this one, man. He's been putting these guys back at bay and just kind of playing with his food out there, man. And we'll have to start calling him Fisher Price, because he's been playing with everyone else out there on the racetrack, and he's been having his fun with them here this evening. So for Jordan Fisher, just continue to lead the way, man, holding down the fort out in front, man, not making many mistakes, not putting himself into any tough positions out there on the speedway, and he's hoping that he can put himself up and into victory lane here with some ease, as he's got 15 seconds between himself and his teammate Grant Applegate. Is Applegate now into second here, so Fisher's got 15 seconds between himself and the 57 ride. Evan Stewart another 4.5 seconds back there in that third position. Another teammate to Jordan Fisher is the Fish Speed Brakes rides, hoping to come home 1, 2, and 3 here this evening. Michael Boyles a little farther back, about 9 seconds behind Evan Stewart in position number 4. Xavier Roggelbrugge another 4 seconds back in that number 5 ride, as he rolls in that 5th position. Colby Wells into position number 6 here, and maybe a little bit better tires here. We'll have to wait and see if he can try to drive up there, try to work his way inside the top 5, as Joseph Smith sits in 7th, and Jack Bulte back in position number 8 on the speedway. Nick Biddy was able to work his way around Landon Burbage, so Burbage does slide back into that 10th position, and unfortunately here he's going to have Ryan Haller reeling up to his back bumper in a quick hurry on the speedways. Haller trying to chase him down, trying to work his way up inside the top 10 here this evening, man. What a run that would be for Mr. Haller to try to jump up here and snag a top 10 performance late in this race. It's Jordan Fisher, though, nice and easy. Not too far back away from these guys, looking to maybe even put them 2 laps down out there on the racetrack, as he is not too far off their back bumper. They're just exiting corner number 2 on the racetrack, and Jordan Fisher is going through corner number 2 right there, so he is very, very close to reeling those guys back in out there on the speedway. But for now, only 8 drivers on the lead lap here, and for Jordan Fisher, 15 seconds, man, he's just feeling A-okay out in front. As Bill Fisher says, I taught you well, Jordan. You definitely taught him something here, Bill. You taught him how to absolutely dominate out there on the racetrack, and here he is doing exactly that as he heads down and through the S's here at Sonoma, looking to reel in some more lap traffic and just continue to pull farther and farther away from the rest of the field here, as next time by the start finish line he will complete lap number 70 here this evening from Sonoma Raceway. Jordan Fisher, man, it's been all the Fisher show here this evening as the Fish Speed 39 right out in front. They have their team 1, 2, and 3 out on the speedway, and for Fisher, man, he's not only won stage 1, he won stage 2. He's got the quickest lap time. The only thing he didn't win here this evening was the quick time in qualifying. Unfortunately, lost that to Matthew Wood. Matthew beat him in qualifying here this evening, and I think that's the only time this 39 right has been beat this afternoon with only 7 laps left to go. I think it's going to be really, really tough for them to find anything, as we do see Colby Wells did get off the racetrack there, did have some issues. Ryan Haller also off the racetrack a little bit, but may have just moved up and out of the way there for Jordan Fisher. No, Fisher's still back there behind him, so just off the track a little bit for Ryan Haller, but that will unfortunately lose a little time here as he was reeling in Nick Biddy and Landon Burbage. Unfortunately, gonna fall a little farther back there from both those two, and obviously for Jordan Fisher, a little closer now to his back bumper. As Aiden Lucas says, gosh dang road course, guys. Shaking my head, laugh out loud. Shaking my head, says Aiden. Yeah, Mr. Lucas, man, I mean, it's gotta be a knack here, man. Obviously, there's a lot of drivers that despise road courses, that do not like going to them. Other drivers, man, they love them. They love going to these road courses, but man, it is a very hit or miss. It's very hit or miss for a lot of these drivers, and obviously for Jordan Fisher, man, it's a hit for him as picks off lap 71, only 6 laps left to go, 16 seconds between himself and Grant Applegate. He could virtually give up to almost 3 seconds a lap here to the 57 right and still come home with the race win this afternoon, but unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to do that. I think he's just going to keep on rolling, hitting his marks, trying not to make any mistakes, and driving home to what could be a big dub here this evening, as we do see Landon Burbage work his way back around Nick Biddy. Biddy slides back into 10th, Landon Burbage up and into 9th, and here comes Ryan Haller. Haller, he wants that top 10. He wants to work this Dasani ride into that 10th position. So for Nick Biddy, he may have his hands full here. He's not going to turn it down. He's going to keep on putting the pressure here and hoping to reel in this number 32 ride before the end of this race. And even with our race leader, Jordan Fisher right there, is now Landon runs into issues. Landon sideways down through that final corner, gets sideways. He's going to give that spot right back to Nick Biddy. Biddy will jump back into 9th. Landon Burbage back into 10th. And here comes our race leader, Jordan Fisher, and our 11th place driver, Ryan Haller. 20 seconds back, you do see the 24 ride of Terrence Murphy. Austin Thompson there in 12th and 13th position on the speedway. Jace LaForte back in 14th. Unfortunately now, I think 3 or 4 laps down out there on the racetrack. Chess Hamby there in 15th. He's about 7 laps down out there on the racetrack, or 7 laps down, 6 laps down, something like that out there on the speedway. And then Wyatt Mickelson down pit side, done and out of this race. Stephen Blevins about to pass him here in another couple laps and move Wyatt back to 17th. I think that's as far back as he's going to go, as we started with 29 drivers on the day. I believe we're only going to have 16 drivers still rolling here at the checkered flag, and that's if we still have a few more drivers drop out here. We never know. You never never know if a few more drivers may run into issues, as we do see Haller got off the track there a little bit, but he does work his way around Landon Burbage. Burbage, unfortunately, went for another bit of a slide, and for the 2 ride, falls back into 11th, and Ryan Haller now around him and into that 10th position. This is exactly what Haller wanted, but now Landon Burbage going to try to battle back and try to work his way back into the top 10, as Miss Haller says, come on, Ryan, get into it. Get into the top 10, she says, as Aiden says, keep it together, Landon. I taught you better. Unfortunately, Landon making some late race mistakes here, obviously letting Nick Biddy back by, and now letting Ryan Haller by as well, and dropping outside the top 10 here late in this race. We'll see if he can try to recollect himself, battle back here, try to find his way back around this 60 rider Ryan Haller for that 10th position, as it's going to be a good battle between Haller and Landon Burbage here, and if they can try and reel in that 32 and Nick Biddy, or if Biddy makes another mistake or two out there on the racetrack, could be a 3-car battle here for that 9th, 10th, and 11th spot out there on the speedway. But they're all still hunting down Jordan Fisher, but Fisher with almost a 20-second lead between himself and Grant Applegate here late in this race, as he rounds the final couple corners here at Sonoma Raceway, back down and across the line. He will complete lap number 74, and we only get 3 laps left to go here from Sonoma. So 3 more laps left to duke it out here in this one. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy, man. What a show it's been. Only 3 laps left to go. The finish line just there. And just a few more moments, a couple dozen corners away, and it's going to be the end of the line here for all these drivers. So to get those final couple spots, if you can get them, if you're in reach, you want to jump up there and snag them. For Nick Biddy, he's trying to hold on to 9. For Ryan Haller, trying to keep Landon Burbage back there at bay. Landon down to his inside. Haller's going to battle hard to the outside as they head down the S's here and back down the hill here towards that tight pin turn. That's going to be another good passing position for Landon Burbage to try to jump in there, try to steal that 10th spot back away from Ryan Haller. But Haller and Burbage, looks like this may be one of the best battles on the racetrack here late in the races. Now Haller slides up the racetrack there, misses that corner, opens up the door. Burbage back around him, back in to that 10th spot. Haller will slide back into 11th, but we'll see if he can battle back and get back to that 2 machine late in this race. As Jordan Fisher, though, clicked off another lap. 2 laps left to go here for this number 39 ride. 20 seconds between himself and Grant Applegate. Evan Stewart 25 seconds back there in 3rd. Michael Boyles back in 4th here. He is about 33 seconds behind our race leader, with Xavier Rongelbrugge about 42.5 seconds back of Jordan Fisher. They're rounding out our top 5. Sitting in that 6th position is the 31 rider Joseph Smith, about 52 seconds back of Jordan Fisher. Then we see Jack Buelte about 58 seconds back here, and actually he's going to have a bit of a battle on his hands as Kobe Wells right there with him. And you see the 67 driving in a little too deep down into that hairpin turn, and unfortunately he is going to lose that spot to the 45, but he's going to battle back here, as this could be a good fight in the closing laps for position number 7 on the speedway. So 7th and 8th tight together. We'll see who comes out of it for this one, as Kobe Wells and Jack Buelte going to battle here for that 7th and 8th spot on the speedway. Landon Burbage up the racetrack right here again. Here comes Haller. Oh, they were tight there down and out of that hairpin, but for Landon Burbage, able to get his foot back in the throttle, keeps that 60 ride back there at bay as they see the white flag fly. So for Jordan Fisher, only 1 lap left to go here for the Fishman. It is Fear the Fish, and here tonight, everyone has been fearful of Jordan Fisher and his drive here this afternoon, as he has not missed a shift. He has been perfect here this evening. And for the Fish Speed Brakes, number 39 ride, only half a lap left to go until he sees the checkered flag here this evening and picks up a big win here at Sonoma Raceway. Just cannot make a major mistake here in this closing lap. He's got 21 seconds here. He can virtually push the clutch in, let it coast, and still win this race here this this afternoon is here he comes, nice and easy, down into the hairpin turn, our penultimate corner of the race is Jordan Fisher. Nice and easy in there, hits his braking points, makes the corner nice and easy, back down, up the speed through that final corner, and across the line, it's Jordan Fisher who picks up the checkered flag here at Sonoma Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see some congratulations in the chat here for our race winner, Mr. Fisher, as Jordan gets it done and picks up the dub here this evening. We'll come back to him as we do see Colby Wells unfortunately ran into an issue here. Unfortunately went around. That's going to give that 7th spot to Colby Wells. And we do see Landon Burbage coming home in 10th. Ryan Haller, unfortunately, will finish just outside the top 10 there in 11th. But it's all Jordan Fisher as the Fishman picks up the dub here at Sonoma. His teammates, Grant Applegate and Evan Stewart, will come home in 2nd and 3rd, man. As, yes, fear the fish, absolutely says, yes, Jordan, crazy run, great race here this evening. Bill Fisher says, great race, Jordan, man. Great race, great run, great performance from all these drivers, and we'll get ready to watch Jordan Fisher celebrate out there on the speedway. His teammate there, Jason LaForte, congratulating him here with a great run, great drive out there on the speedway, and we'll get ready to pull not only Jordan Fisher, but the rest of our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. Post-race interviews coming up next, as Anna says, good job, Jordan. Fish speed in the chat as we'll get ready to pull this 39 run up and into the booth as he's going to get ready to celebrate here on the front straightaway after what was a incredibly great race, man. A lot of great battling, a lot of great racing, man. These guys put together a heck of a show for us here this evening, and we'll wait for these top 3 to slide into the waiting room, and we'll get them in for their post-race interviews. They'll be coming right up next. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here to Mr. Fisher, man. Jordan with an absolutely incredible run, man. An incredible race here this evening. Man, dominant. Absolutely dominant, and now gets to burn down the house here at Sonoma Raceway, man. What a run, what a show, what a performance for him. As Bill Fisher says, thanks to Anna. It says, Fish Mom says, making Mama proud. Making Mama proud. We love that. We love that. Making Mama proud here. As Anna says, top 10, Landon. You did great, Landon. Yeah, great top 10 there for Landon. I mean, Haller was right there. So close. I mean, it's such a tough break there for Wyatt Mickelson as well. Obviously, still finishing in 17th, though. I mean, even after blowing that car up, the finish 17th is pretty solid. I don't know why the 09 at Jace LaForte celebrating. I mean, he finished in 14th and, a couple laps down back there. So I don't know why he's celebrating. He should be just waiting for his teammates to be celebrating up here in the broadcast booth. But nonetheless, we'll get ready to pull Jordan and the rest of our top 3 up here into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews here this afternoon. As, man, great run, great drive, great performance for each and every one of these drivers. As we'll get them up here, as Haller says, almost had the top 10. Almost had it, brother. You almost had that top 10 here today, brother. That was so close. Such a good run for you, though, man. As we'll take a look back here. There's Jordan Fisher. As we'll throw this on to slow-mo there so we don't have to hear Jace LaForte revving the shit out of his car. And we'll get ready to pull our race winner, Mr. Fisher, up here into the broadcast booth as soon as we see them jump into the booth here. Can't pull the man. I don't know if they were an invisible channel. Okay, there he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Jordan Fisher. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, copy.
Jordan, man, what a run. What a race for you here this evening, brother. What can we say except for absolute dominant here this evening at Sonoma Raceway, man. Take us back through it. It's obviously a long race, a lot of left-hand turns and a lot of right-hand turns, man, but you didn't really have a whole lot of pressure on your back bumper throughout this race, as it was pretty clear, smooth sailing for you here at the front of the pack, as you're able to not only sweep the stages and pick up the checkered flag here this afternoon, man, and what was virtually a perfect day at the Speedway for you.
Yeah, I mean, today couldn't have gotten any better. Like just overall from start to finish, I was just so focused on trying to just race myself, race against myself out there. I really just pacing myself out there, trying to take care of my right rear tire, to shift me up early up through the corners. Um, yeah, I gotta thank my teammates, Evan, Grant, Chris Lewis, the owner, all those guys up there keeping my head in the race and bringing us. I really needed this one, so it was really nice to finally park myself in victory lane here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, I think the only driver that might have had a shot at you here this evening was either one of your teammates that were back behind you or that 16 right of Matthew Wood. Were you a little bit nervous there? Obviously, out of the get go, having Matthew beat you in qualifying, and we've known his past and how good he's been here at these, road courses, but obviously a slew of issues for him, and then he decided to call it an early night there after about 45 laps after that issue on the restart here this afternoon, man. Were you a little bit nervous that maybe Matthew would have something for you late in this race until obviously he exited the race here this
Well, I knew me and Matthew had really similar pace, so as long as I just kind of did my part, then I knew I could at least put the pressure on him if he could hang with me. But he made mistakes on his part, so I just had to try to take full advantage of that, and that's what we did tonight. So I mean, I know on most road courses, I'm gonna obviously be battling the 16 from week to week, and I definitely look forward to that. But on a night like tonight where Wood's off his game, I just gotta make sure I stay locked in, stay doing those consistent time lap times, and hopefully this can carry over to future road course races.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, gonna take everything that you learned here and all that experience, and hope that at you know road courses like Watkins Glen. I don't know how many other ones that were hitting the Roval up
Uh,
this year or not, but if there are few more still on the schedule, then you'll get a few more opportunities, a few more chances here, and trying to do exactly what you did here tonight, and that's just dominate the road course and put yourself up here into victory lane.
Yeah, that's the goal. Each and every. I mean, even now that we go back to the ovals in the next couple of weeks, I just the biggest thing is just kind of being consistent, getting those strong finishes, and maybe if we can get a couple of wins on the oval side of it, and just overall the TI racing group has been fantastic over here, and we're setting a good high standard with how fast we run out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, coming home with the Fish Speed T1 rides or TI rides in the top three here this evening. We saw Kobe Wells back there in that eighth position, and yeah, it's just put together a great show and a great performance here this afternoon. And obviously, man, early on though, you were just laying down such good lap times and pulling away from everyone else in that first stage where you're lapping drivers inside the top 10, man. How did that feel? Was that kind of the game plan? Try to lap as many drivers as possible, trying to put them behind the eight ball there for that, obviously, that one and only caution flag and stage break here this evening.
Yeah, that was the whole goal, is to try to put as big of a gap as I possibly can on the field, lap as many cars as possible. And I knew that if I could just, obviously set a consistent pace, with my times, that, I would obviously lap quite a few people out there. And huge kudos to everybody out there running this race. 77 laps at Sonoma is a lot. So everybody that, was racing tonight, how everybody was kind of giving each other space through the track. I mean, everybody deserves a lot of credit for that. So huge shout out to everybody that's racing tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of great racers, a lot of great battles out there, and it was a heck of a show by you guys here this evening. As Jordan, you park yourself up and in the Sonoma Raceway victory lane here this evening, man. Who'd you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
I want to thank my family for watching. They love watching these races, every night that I race. So I want to thank you, Peacemaker, for putting on a great broadcast. I want to thank my teammates Evan and Grant and team owner Chris Lewis. all the guys at TI Racing, as well as the great community within Fish Speed. Just working on trying to help everybody get faster. It was a lot of fun this week trying to tackle this track, and now that we go back to some ovals, look forward to learning from some other guys on the week, and yeah, just everybody was a great show. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, Jordan, great run, great drive. Congratulations on the win here this evening, man. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack, making a whole lot more left-hand turns for the next few weeks, and hopefully one of those races we'll see you right back up here and in victory lane.
Thanks. Fear the fish.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jordan Fisher, as Fisher picks up the dub here this evening at Sonoma Raceway. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher. It's the 57 of Grant Applegate. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, I do.
Grant, man, great run, great drive for you here this evening after, what started out to be a little bit of a rough night. Obviously, we saw the 16 of Matthew Wood get into a little tire spin. That kind of got you out of, position, heading down through 1 and into 2. You go up into the gravel, into that dirt, and unfortunately, you slide back quite a ways there. And now, all of a sudden, you just have to slowly but surely battle your way back up there. You get back into the top 5 and slowly creep your way into this top 3, and then throughout this final stage, obviously, more issues there for Matthew Wood, and it opens up the door for you and Evan Stewart here to round out the podium with Jordan Fisher after his dominant day. But man, it had to be a lot of fun being able to run in second, which has got to feel like kind of a win in your own rights. Just being behind that 39 ride here and keeping everyone else back there at bay.
Yeah, the initial start obviously wasn't great, but I don't know. I was just really struggling to pass. So yeah, I just played out a little bit of strategy to get my track position back because I definitely felt like I was the third best car. So got up to third, and then yeah, unfortunate whatever happened to Matthew. I don't know if I pushed him wide or if he just got wide and hit a bump. These cars, obviously cold tires, don't like bumps. So, but yeah, just great night overall for the team. I mean, that's the number one thing. And then happy to come out second. Like you said, that is kind of a win, but it is always frustrating, I mean, being slower is one thing, but when you're so much slower, you're just like, man, what am I doing wrong? And it just, I don't know. I'm missing it felt like about 5/10 of pace and about 80% consistency. So good night overall. Got points, got second. So that's always nice. And yeah, 1, 2, 3 for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. 1, 2, 3 for the team. Good points day for you, and obviously, yeah, as you said, a little bit off the pace. I mean, I just think it's the seat time here on the road courses. I don't know what it is, but there's certain guys that just kind of have the knack for it. Other drivers struggle a whole lot more, but obviously, you're right there. You're kind of at that point where you can break through and kind of figure it out and be in that same category as Fisher and Matthew Wood when it comes to these road courses. We've seen you do really strong before, and it just seems like you need that extra little bit. I don't know if it's this little secret that they're holding back from you that they don't want to give you because they don't want to have to deal with you here on these road courses on their own, and just kind of keeping you kind of just a little stalled out back there behind you. But you said you felt about that 5/10 kind of off the pace there, and well, when we look at the best lap times, I mean, you were virtually right at that 5/10 slower for the best lap time compared to Jordan Fisher.
Yeah, so just I don't know. I think it's a getting on the gas traction thing. Just like I can get into a corner and get on the brakes plenty, and I'm pretty even. And then just these real slow traction corners, they beat me so bad out of them. I don't know how to like. It's like they know when the tires slip, and I don't know how to find that without actually making the tires spin. In which that case, then you're slow. So then I just back it down so I don't kill the tires and be happy with my second place. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, hey, at the end of the day, still a amazing performance after 77 laps of hard-fought racing here at Sonoma Raceway. Grant, who'd you like to thank for another great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Just the teammates. I mean, I talked about it at the start, but it's always nice to just have teammates, especially when one of them's Jordan Fisher and one of them's Evan Stewart, who just teammates that are fast is always nice because it elevates each other. I feel like I don't know if Fisher feels the same way, but I definitely feel like on ovals especially, I feel like we push one another to be just that little bit better. And then yeah, just giving somebody to practice on a week to week basis and figure out lines and stuff like that. I feel like me and Fisher do a good job of working together on that and finding what like I'm good at finding a different line and he's good at finding the fastest line kind of deal. So with dirty air and all that, that's always appreciated. And yeah, I appreciate Evan. He puts on the league. So I know he's got a team of admins behind him doing it, but it was his team and his league that he started. So I appreciate him and giving us a place to race and just everybody who puts on the show. And y'all have a good rest of your night.
You as well, Grant. Congrats again on the second place finish, brother, and we can't wait to see you back out there again next Sunday, maybe right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Oh yeah, we're going to an oval, so yeah, we'll be back fighting for actually fighting for the win instead of just being second place, 20 seconds behind.
All right, brother. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Mr. Grant Applegate. Applegate comes home there in P2, and we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher here. Normally the 37, but here tonight he was in the Fish B number 34 ride. It's Evan Stewart. Let's get Evan up here into the booth. Hey, Evan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, how's it going?
Not too bad, Evan, man. Great run, great drive for you here this evening, man. Take us back through it. Is obviously some good battling, some tight racing out there on the speedway for quite a while and quite a lot of this race between yourself, Applegate. You throw in Xavier Rugglebruggy, Matthew Wood, Aiden Lucas, and you guys put on a great show for us there for a lot of this race. Obviously, seeing Aiden exit early and Matthew Wood, it allows you and Applegate to kind of nice and easy slide up into the second and third position and just kind of be on cruise control in behind Jordan Fisher and coming home with a 1-2-3 TI racing sweep here at Sonoma Raceway. Man, take us back through what's going through your mind.
Yeah, so the two little half spins I had definitely made it interesting in the first stage. It would have been nice to see like if Matthew and Aiden could have stuck it out and not wrecked where I actually would have finished up. I actually did feel pretty fast tonight. I was laying down really good times, really consistent in the long run. The in the third stage, I definitely fried the crap out of my rear trying to keep up with Jordan. Jordan's one of my best friends. He's just on another planet, and it's kind of crazy to compete with him and Matthew both. It's just another experience that you can't turn down, and I appreciate that. And I'll take a P3 to my teammates any day of the week. Um, it just shows me that I still got some more work to do, and I love road course racing, and I can't wait till we go to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously now going from Sonoma into Homestead, I mean, completely different racetracks. Obviously, this being a road course back to an oval, man. How do you kind of, take some of the momentum with you here from this track and bring it into Homestead to try to, maybe recreate this 1-2-3 finish and maybe put this 37 right out in front?
This is all about hitting your marks and playing the strategy right. Consistency is a big thing in this car, so if I can just go to Homestead and keep the heat out of the tires, there's also a new grip thing, track evolution thing. So when the track starts to grip up and marbles start to get all over it, the top line starts to become like unusable unless you got people up there running it constantly, rubbering it in. I think with the amount of people we've had showing up, that both all three lanes will still be usable. We're just praying that we can finally keep the cautions down and have some good green flag racing. I know these guys are capable of it, and speaking as a league owner instead of a driver right now, I really want to see us put on good green flag racing for everybody. I know that everybody that watches doesn't watch for the cautions, so
Yeah, absolutely. when you get into the double digits, it definitely gets tough. Not only as a broadcaster or a racer, or as a viewer. I mean, when you start to see those 10 plus yellows out on the racetrack, it gets a little bit tedious. And obviously, with 75% race lengths, it makes it a really really long night. So trying to tone down some of those yellow flags, make the night move a little bit quicker and a little bit faster, obviously, is a huge benefit for everybody. And for you guys, obviously, that extra, 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes in behind the cockpit, just trying to roll out there on the speedway, man. It becomes not only a physical race, but a mental race. You got to try to keep yourself focused and locked in here out on the racetrack. And tonight was one of those nights. Obviously, this is a really mentally focused racetrack. You kind of lose focus for a second or two, and you miss a corner, and you're not going to be done in a heartbeat. So, for a lot of these cats, I mean, it was a tough race out there, man. There's a lot of guys that do not like the road courses, and it showed out there on the speedway.
Yeah, road courses are definitely tough. 77 laps at Sonoma is definitely not anything light. It's a lot for someone who does endurance racing quite a bit. I was even tired of being in the car around lap 74. I was just ready for the race to be over. But I do appreciate everybody for showing up and finishing that could finish the race. I appreciate you broadcasting like always. You do an amazing job. I know my family loves watching you. I know my admin team appreciates you a lot, and so do the drivers. So I really do appreciate you a lot.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Evan, man, great run, great drive, great performance here this afternoon. We can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Sunday night from Homestead Miami Speedway, and another amazing show here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. Brother, congratulations on that third place finish. Is there anyone else you'd like to thank here this afternoon for such a great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Oh yes, KK Woodscapes, the guy that is providing my trophy. Guys, he does excellent work. He makes good woodscapes of tracks, plaques, anything you want. So if you guys have anything that you want made to show people instead of pictures, hit him up. I promise you, he makes good honest work. I also would like to thank my friend Jordan Fisher, who runs Fish Speed Brakes and has given me an opportunity to run under his name. Jordan works with me all the time, and we run laps daily. And he decided to be a sponsor of the in-season tournament, so I can't thank him enough for that either. And like I said, thanking you once again for everything you do. I know sometimes we put you through the ringer with all the cautions, but you stick it out for us. So I really, really appreciate all of you.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure. Always a good time here on Sunday nights watching you guys duke it out there on the racetrack. And as I said, we can't wait to see you guys back out there again from Homestead next Sunday night. Evan, congrats on that third place finish, man. And hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next week.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Mr. Evan Stewart, as Evan comes home in position number 3 here this evening, man. Great run, great drive, great performance for that Fish Speed team, man, that TI Racing team, putting together a heck of a performance and a heck of a drive out there on the racetrack. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for us up here in the booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Any of the new subscribers as well, man. We can't thank you enough and welcome you enough here to the Peacemaker family. And if you haven't already, it's not too late to become a part of that Peacemaker family. Hit the subscribe button here today and turn those bell notifications on so that way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. But unfortunately, that will do it for us up here in the booth. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you guys back here again tomorrow night. As Jay says, thank you, Peacemaker. It's always my pleasure, Jay says. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all in the next one here tomorrow night. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.